Salve a tutti, siamo qui con Xavier, Fantastic Negrito, che ieri sera ha fatto un concerto fantastico, appunto incredibile, davanti a un pubblico che è rimasto veramente incantato da uno show che non capita di vedere spesso. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, Xavier. It's a pleasure for us to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Last night we witnessed an amazing concert, and I guess I fully got what you mean when you refer to your live shows as a church without religion. I mean, you could definitely feel the community spirit. The crowd was just as one.
Absolutely.
Is that like the main thing when it comes to concerts for you, to have the crowd as one?
Well, I don't have a main thing.
All
I always get into trouble when I want something. So when I perform and I'm just someone's guest, I don't want anything. I think that the thing that should happen is what should happen.
Sure.
And I'm a firm believer in that. So if I'm playing in Japan or if I'm playing in Italy or France or the States, I'm just someone's guest.
Yeah.
And that's how I view it.
You go with the flow. And the crowd last night was actually mesmerized, not only for the music and the showmanship, but also, I guess, on a more unconscious or subconscious level, because of the quality of the sound and the purity of the tone. Is there a lot of effort from the band in trying to get the right sound on and off the stage?
Well, my live band, I don't record albums with that band.
Yeah.
Just
the drummer, maybe?
Yeah, the drummer. Well,
Yeah.
I just put him on this record, but I have, my core recording in the studio is completely different from the live show, which it should be. And I just, for the first time, recorded with James Smalls. So I think what you're trying to achieve in the studio is one thing, and what you're trying to, achieve live is, they're just two different things. And I think, it can be different every night as far as tone, as far as energy, because every situation is different.
It's different, yeah. And
And
the
so
crowd, of course,
it can be extremely satisfying and rewarding, and it can be extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
And I think that's all okay.
Yeah, good. And about the tone, actually, the falsetto in music is often associated with sweet, positive emotions, while in your case it's often kind of sour, dramatic, and sarcastic. And I guess this produces a strong effect on the songs.
I don't do falsetto music. I don't
Okay.
know what you're talking about. I never even
Like
heard
the high
that
tones,
term.
or well, they call it falsetto, but
Falsetto?
maybe it's not falsetto, just the high tones, the high notes.
I'm just not really a good singer.
Yeah.
And
Well, I guess people would disagree with that.
I grew up around like real singers. I'm not a real singer. I grew up around like real singers, like especially in the church, especially the black church. There's a great singer on every corner. So I just had to get to know my voice and kind of do different interpretations with it. So I think I think I have a very bipolar aesthetic when it comes to being I call myself a vocalist, but not a singer. And I'm able to do a lot of different things because I can't sing.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad thing.
It's not.
I think it's, everyone, I remember my grandmother used to always say this, is that we have to work with what we have. And I think that I don't really try to repeat things when I'm making a record. And so I try different things with my voice. Sometimes it sounds like 2 or 3 different people, which is great.
Yeah. You have this choral thing, which is definitely coming through. You recently released your latest album, White Jesus, Black Problems, and I personally think it's your finest yet.
Thank you.
You had another plan in mind, right? You were thinking about an album of duets, or
I was.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that then the pandemic kicked in, and you were stuck at home on your own. And to me, this album has less of a prominent guitar sound compared to the previous ones, and it's more of a choral effort, which is kind of ironic because you mostly compose it on your own, but it comes out with different voices.
Well, I compose all of my stuff on my own, not mostly all of them, and I produce all my stuff. And I think that, I love albums. I'm a fan of music from the 70s where people, they had albums, conceptual albums, and I think I think when you're trying, it's a lot about telling the story
Sure.
and inviting people in. And I think when you go to do that, there's going to be a myriad of different things that happen. And I think on this one, I was telling a story that was
Sure.
270 years old. And I don't think that it's necessarily less guitar driven. I think just the guitar is being used in a different way.
Right, okay.
You're talking about tone and
Sure,
textures.
sure.
The guitar is really being used in that way. I think what I probably used the most of was, I would say, the 1970s transistor organ, which is a Yamaha C30, and the Moog.
Yeah,
I feel like those really,
yeah.
but it was all about textures, with plenty of guitar, just maybe not as heavy as Please Don't Be Dead, which I think the last album was even a depart from guitar, but I don't know. Who knows?
Look, this album, Why Jesus, Black Problems, is not only defined by its great diversified sound, but also by a number of great videos and a full film.
Right.
How did it happen? I mean, did you take active part in writing the full film, or?
I mean, absolutely. It just was one of those things that happened. The story was just so compelling and so rich in history and kind of a shocking reality to me to find that my seventh generation grandparents were illegal, forbidden union, the white Scottish grandmother, black enslaved grandfather. And I think that this, I think I said it before, it felt like a train and it was going like really fast. And I thought maybe I don't get in the way of the train, and I got on the train. And then a film came, and we had one camera, it probably looks like that, one camera, and we would just go out and just shoot every day. I don't think we knew what we were doing at all, but sometimes that's the beautiful part of creating something, because you're kind of fearless and you just know that it's going to be something. So it was very exciting and interesting, and I really liked the result of the visual album.
Yeah, and again, the output is amazing, and I think it's a great, I don't know, testifying of the story itself. And you have the visual, you have the audio, so it's great. And in fact, you managed to name your unnamed ancestor on that film as well, Courage.
Yes.
Which is
I thought it was fitting.
Yeah, absolutely. So with this album, you get to tell the story of your family, which is the story of millions of human beings anyway. So you get the private and you get the collective thing. And you even get to give a name to your unnamed grandfather. So was it important for you to have that story told by yourself and nobody else?
Well, I think that it wasn't even my story. It was their story. And I think that I have more of, obligation, responsibility for people that had laid the groundwork out for me, people that had taken all the punches. And it was more of an honor to tell the story, and I was probably the one that was going to tell it, because it was just sitting right there in documents and history book. It was right there.
Wow.
And no one, I think people, they had published it online, but I guess no one was as loud as me. They had a seventh generation grandson that was loud and had a platform, so I was able to do it. And I think the story, for me, is a great lesson in humanity. It's a great lesson of how to accomplish something. I think in this story, there's no complaining.
No.
There's no emphasis like, victims. I don't like to look at things that way. I think that you have to take the best out of every situation.
And it definitely comes through. I mean, the message is a positive message.
Positive message,
yeah. Absolutely, and love.
Yeah, I love that a love story defeated hate. That's how it should be.
There's a lot of dualism in this album, and it comes through different songs, different tones, and the voices as well. And this dualism actually is ever present during the album. And as you say, actually, hope and positivity.
Absolutely.
Wins through.
I'm an optimist.
Yeah, no other way.
Yeah.
So it's been a complete honor to have your time, to have your stories, to have your music with us, and thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience and your experiences with us. It's been a pleasure, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Respect.
Yeah.
All right. Ciao Pordenone Blues Festival.